Since March 2010. During the time of March 2010 to June 2011, she has earned her CC and CL. Tonight, Lynda will be giving her speech, Project Number 1, the panel moderator, from the Advanced Communication Series, Facilitating Discussion. Lynda's topic that she will moderate is how to understand, work, and earn your CL. The recommended speech length is 28 to 30 minutes, and as we discussed, we'll have 4 sections of 5 to 7 minutes each. Have your CL manuals ready and write your questions on the paper provided for the Q&A or any paper that you have available for the Q&A section of the speech. Let's welcome Lynda Morrill. And work, and what was the last part?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Last word is earn.
Earn your CL. Lynda Morrill.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, members and guests. As you heard in my bio, just a few months ago, I finished my CC and my CL. As a result of finishing that CL, I have a desire to enthuse, inform, and educate new members and seasoned members to understand, work, and earn your CL. In order for that desire to be fulfilled, I enlisted the assistance of 2 panelists. I'd like to introduce my panelists to you. First is Cassandra R. Lee. She has been a member of Toastmasters for 13 years, and she is our WAyO sponsor of our WAyO Toastmaster Club. And Bill Morrill has been a member of WAyO Toastmasters for almost 4 years. He's also a member of Trustmasters, and he's a member and sponsor of Loop Trustmasters. Along the path of leadership and communication that both Bill and Cassandra have taken, they have achieved their Distinguished Toastmaster Award, which the acronym is DTM. So please, everyone, let's give Cassandra Lee and Bill Morrill, our Distinguished Toastmasters, a round of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, I like excited panelists. This is fun. As I mentioned, this desire I have to educate and inform and enthuse people about their CL. The topic we are talking about today, as I said, is to understand, work, and earn your CL. In doing that, I would like to start first with talk about how to understand your CL. I was reading in the CL manual on page 6, actually, that there's a list of leadership qualities that Toastmasters suggest that we can find them in ourselves to become leaders. In reviewing that list, I came across 2 of them that felt very natural and comfortable for myself. Those 2 words are listening, actually listener, and planner. Well, I love listening. I've been doing it most of my adult life with my children. I love it when we would gather around the dinner table and we tell our stories about what happened that day, whether it was good or bad, or just sharing our good news with one another. So I really do enjoy listening. And planning, I love keeping a calendar. Sometimes I'm not so great at keeping those things, but I love planning. I even enjoy meal planning, such as even Thanksgiving and Christmas. I've already got the meal planned. I've even got time to shop the sales at the stores. So I feel that listening and planning are very natural for me. However, going down that list, I saw 2 words that jumped out at me: bold and risk taker. Well, about those words. I thought, oh, okay, those are a challenge for me. But then I thought about it even more. Just recently, I tried a new recipe. That's pretty bold.
And it was good.
And in the process of making and following the instructions of that recipe, I needed to cook the eggplant parmesan in oil before I baked it. I had to fry it first. Well, several years ago, I had a little mishap with frying with oil in my kitchen, so I'm not very comfortable doing that. But I stepped out of my comfort zone and stepped into getting the job done. Wow, I became a risk taker right there. I did something I wasn't comfortable with. And in that risk taking, the meal turned out very well and everyone was pleased. And I actually made it a second time now, so I'm conquering that cooking with oil fear. But it made me realize that the words bold and risk taking, they're not natural for me, but I can use a little nudge, or I can encourage myself, or someone else could encourage me. Those are leadership qualities that we can learn to do, and we will learn those during our Toastmaster journey for our CL. Along with the leadership qualities, Toastmasters stated in the CL manual that our Toastmaster meetings are like workshops where we can practice and learn in an environment that we all are in together. And in that environment, we can work on our communication and our leadership skills. It all happens naturally right in front of our eyes, so don't be afraid to jump in and go for the ride. In addition to what the Toastmaster Manual has taught us about the CL, with our leadership qualities and our actual club meetings becoming workshops of learning, in the Toastmaster Manual we also have 10 projects that we can work on. I would like to give you the titles of those 10 projects so you can be acclimated with those. Our first project, project number 1, is listening. Our second is thinking. Third is giving feedback. Time management, planning and implementation, organizing and delegating. Developing facilitation skills is next. And then motivating people. Mentoring. And last, number 10, is team building. In these projects in the CL manual, you can earn these leadership skills. And like I said, they may come naturally, and some of them just might need a nudge to get the job done. So thank you for this section of understanding your CL. Now I'd like to introduce Cassandra and have her answer some questions about how to work your CL. All right. I'm glad you're comfortable. Are you ready to roll?
I'm ready to roll.
All right. Cassandra Lee, DTM. Our first question that I have for you is, can you describe the purpose of meeting roles at Toastmaster meetings?
Oh, absolutely. The purpose of the meeting roles at any Toastmaster meeting is to get members acclimated to speaking as well as leading in a more comfortable foundational way, if you will. And what I mean by that is all of us have come to improve our speaking skills and or leadership skills. And the best way to do that is to become comfortable doing that. So you can't read it and get the theory. You become more comfortable with learning how to speak and how to lead in the variety of different roles. And the easiest role is the timer, I think, because the timer doesn't have a lot to say. The hardest role, I think, of any functionary role is the Toastmaster, because the Toastmaster is talking all day long. So for a member to begin to become comfortable, they can start with the timer's role or the word master role or inspirational speaker role in our particular club to get their feet wet for a quick moment and then move up to the other roles. But they're all designed to make you comfortable in a step-by-step process at a foundational level to put you out in front of others so that way you can demonstrate your communication and leadership skills.
Excellent. Thank you, Cassandra. If I can, I'd like to continue with more questions. All right. The second question I have is, in addition to meeting roles, could you describe additional opportunities from the CL?
Oh, absolutely. You know, what I loved about your piece when you started your explanation for us, you told us how to understand, and you went to page 6. And I saw Perry when Perry pulled out his manual, Perry peeked at page 6, and I looked at my page 6 as well with those numbers, or with the words that you told us about the characteristics of a leader. And with everyone, as a matter of fact, all of you guys should have a handout. So as I'm talking about the other opportunities, this handout is on the table with you, so that way it's not foreign as we're mentioning it. I know Lynda talked about the different projects and the various names of each of the projects. That's at the bottom of this form. And with this form, it shows you the different roles. For instance, the grammarian role, the table topic master role, the Toastmaster role. Those are all of the roles that are within the meeting that we have to fulfill in order for a meeting to run in an appropriate way. So those roles are, I would say, common.
Yes.
We expect to have those roles, yet there are a couple of other roles that are special roles that are listed that you can get credit for in the CL manual. And what that allows you an opportunity to do is to get credit in event planning, in marketing, in social media, in technology. And what I mean by that is you can serve as a social events chairperson. That's event planning. You can serve as the webmaster. Those are skills in technology. You could serve as the membership drive chairperson, or even the speech contest chairperson.
Yes.
And those, again, are somewhat of event planning, but still specific. So membership would be membership drive, membership building, and the contest would be educational in nature as well as social also, so event planning too. So each of the different roles, and we begin to see those special roles get broken out when we get to projects 6 through 10.
Right.
Projects 1 through 5, we tend to have more of the traditional meeting functionary roles, whereas project 6 through 10 starts to take you a little bit out of your comfort zone, still within the club, yet stretching your leadership skills to a different level within the club. So now you're not just serving as the eye counter, the timer, or the Toastmaster. You're really beginning to use natural skills that you may possess, whether it's in event planning, creativity when it comes to marketing, technical brain cells you may have that could be used for the webmaster role. So you will begin to become stretched in different areas that way.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you. One more question. Okay. Can you give an example of how many skills are needed to complete a project?
Oh, wow. Let's see. It depends. It depends. And I think the best way for me to answer Lynda's question, and this is for everyone because the handout is before you. So for instance, project number 1, which is your listening and leadership project, that will require 3 skills to be performed. And technically, you can perform 4, but you get credit for 3. So 3 of those skills. So 3 skills would be needed for project 1. 2 skills would be needed for project 2. 3 skills would be needed for project 3. 2 skills for project number 4. 3 for project 5. 1 for project number 6. 2 for project 7. 3 for project 8. 1 for project 9. And then project 10 gives you a little bit of flexibility, either 1 or 2 skills. So in a nutshell, anywhere under 3 or less, 3 or fewer skills will be needed per project. And each of the projects are listed on this sheet, and the beauty is that the sheet breaks it down for you to make it easier for you to know exactly how many skills you're looking to complete per project.
That document is a great resource. You can visually see what tasks are available for you to do at a quick notice. And you can also go to your manual and actually read about the projects and what you can do to earn that project.
Absolutely.
All right, well, thank you, Cassandra. Take a little breather here. We'll now ask Bill some questions.
Okay.
All right. Bill, are you ready to talk about how to earn your CL?
I'm almost ready. I want to say 2 things real quick. First of all, isn't our moderator doing a great job? Let's hear it for her. Lynda, I really appreciate being here today, and I really appreciate how you helped us with Section 1, how to understand the CL. And in Section 2, Cassandra covered how to work your CL, and she did a great job. Let's hear it for her, too. So with that, I'm ready to go on to section 3, how to earn your CL, and then we'll follow up with section 4, questions and answers.
How accurate you are. All right, question number 1, Bill Morrill, DTM. Can you explain a mentor-mentee relationship?
Yes, a mentor-mentee relationship. In Toastmasters, I see there's 3 kinds of mentors. There's the formal mentor that you have in a club. Some clubs like WAyO Ashburn Overcomers, they really encourage, as soon as you get in the club, to have a mentor. The idea is somebody who has been down the path before you. It could be on the communication path, it could be on the leadership path, or it could be in the area which I say comes between those two, and that's the teamwork path. We don't have a manual, we don't have a rigorous road for that teamwork, but how can you lead if you don't have people who want to follow? And how can you communicate if you don't have anybody listen? Nobody's listening, it's just talking. You can talk to the trees, talk to the wind, but you want to talk to people and then have dialogue. So you need to have teamwork and communication and leadership. So that's the formal mentoring program that Toastmasters encourages, and we do really well at WAyO Ashburn Overcomers. The second kind of mentor is somebody that you see who has a skill that you'd like to obtain. For example, you're doing moderation. You may see somebody in the audience that says, wow, I really get what Lynda's doing. You can then become a informal mentor for that person.
Right.
So Mindy or Perry can come up and say, Lynda, I really like that. Can you tell me more about the facilitation manual that you did this out of? Can you tell me how you prepare for this? And then you could have that informal mentoring of sharing a skill that you've learned, even if it's a newer skill, with somebody who has a desire to learn that skill. Then beyond that, when you get into formal leadership, there's a training program that you're encouraged to do to get to the DTM level. You're encouraged to be a leader within a club, an elected officer. You're encouraged to be an officer at the next level, which is the area level. And then you can go all the way up to be division, district, and an international leader. At those levels, you're going to be doing projects, which are high-performance leadership projects, where you'll need a team of people to formally mentor you on a project. In addition, you'll have people that you'll look up to as you want to go to that next rung up the ladder to find ways to serve more people. One of the things I really like about Toastmasters, no matter what kind of mentoring relationship you're talking about, whether it's formal, whether it's informal, or whether it's a hierarchical one, it's about servant leadership. It's not how many people you're in charge of, it's about how many people you can serve the Toastmaster way.
Excellent description, Bill. I like how you elaborated on different levels of mentoring, whether it's personal or just overall, just what you're doing today could be affecting someone and you're actually encouraging them in it. So thank you for that description and that answer. All right, ready for question number 2?
Yep.
All right. When should a member, what should a member who wants to fill a role do?
Well, normally I like to give 3-point answers. In this case, I'll give a 4-point answer for what you need to do to get a CL. First of all, you have to have a book. Recently, Toastmasters, when they went through the branding, created a new book. You mentioned earlier on page 6, that's the page in the newer book. I think it was page 75 or 76 in the older book. Those charts continue to get updated as we get the new manual. So first of all, you need to have a manual. Second of all, you need to have a game plan. As Cash mentioned earlier, there's approximately, on average, about 2 tasks per project.
Yes.
You need a total of 21 to 22. Some of those you have to do 3 out of 3. Some of those, like the first one, you have to do 3 out of 4. So everything in Toastmasters is based on what you want to put into it. If you'd like to get the CL, you can. You don't have to. The CL is pretty new. It's only been around Toastmasters for 7 years, and we're celebrating our 87th birthday this week. So obviously we're just a little bit into the CL level. So with that, you want to have the second thing, and that's the game plan. What do you want to do? Which ones are you interested in? I could do 6 Toastmasters or 6 evaluations. So you need to become familiar with the roles, find out which ones you'd like to do, find out which ones you have to do, and then be able to put that game plan together. I think the third thing you need is a goal. When do you want to achieve the CL? You need approximately 18 meetings in order to get a CL. You could do 3 roles in a meeting, but you only get credit for 1. So you have to do a minimum of 18 meetings. You might have to do 1 or 2 more to get some of those special projects. So how long is it going to take you to get 18 roles or go to 18 meetings? If you're going once a month and you're diligent with your planning, that second thing I mentioned, you can get done in a year and a half. If you're going to this club, which meets twice a month, and maybe going and visiting some other clubs, such as the Ambassador Program encourages in District 30, you could do maybe 2 or 3 meetings a month, in which case, if you really wanted to, you can get a CL in a year. That's one of my goals, is to get a CL this year. I'm hoping to get 2 or 3, but I attend over 4 meetings a month, so it's a little bit easier for me to do that. And I think the fourth thing you need to do is you really need to have a desire for going a little bit outside of the comfort zone. Desire to get that, to get the goal, those are important. But there's going to be some things on there which you don't really like. I get really nervous when I'm doing the timing. I see our timer Perry over there, and he's watching the stopwatch, he's looking at his book, he's taking notes, he's thinking about an evaluation. There's a lot that's going on. For me, for timing, it takes me outside my comfort zone. So that's something I avoid. I also know you only need to do timer once in order to get a CL. So that goes back to some of the other things I mentioned earlier. Having a game plan, having somebody who you can really talk to about that can be helpful as you set your goal for yourself and set your outline for yourself. And then also, being able to have the desire to go a little bit out of the comfort zone, and everyone in this room can get more than one CL. There's no limit. Once you get one, you can get plenty more after that. You get one per club per year, and then you can go get one next year as well as with another club if you like.
Excellent, very much. I thank you very much for that answer, Bill. My third question I have for you today, Bill, is once the member has completed the meeting role, what is next for them to complete the process?
So what's next process after you've done the role? Just like anything in Toastmasters, you get the most out of it when you get an evaluation. The Toastmasters CL manual says that you need to get written evaluations in order to get credit for it. Now the spirit is, if you get an evaluation, you can learn what you're doing well and learn what you might want to change. So the idea is to get some feedback so that you can grow in your leadership skills. Some clubs will do a verbal and a written evaluation. Some clubs will do just a verbal evaluation. To me, the most important thing is found in the spirit of line is getting feedback. It could be one-on-one feedback from a mentor. It can be one-on-one feedback from an individual. The book says it needs to be written ones. I feel as long as you're getting that evaluation, that's what is important, that you're getting that evaluation to grow in the Toastmasters way. So what do you want to do after you get that meeting? Talk to somebody. See how you did. Get that evaluation, preferably in writing. That's the best way to do it. That way you have documentation to go back to, and that way everybody can see it on a piece of paper. After that, it's up to you and the Vice President of Education, the other members, make sure that's logged in an area where everybody can get access to it, and they can be logged for the dates to be put into the system to get your CL award.
Excellent, thank you very much. And one last question. What is the last step when a member has completed their CL annual?
The last step. So you've gotten your 18 meeting roles done, you've got your 3 special projects done, you got 21, you decided on number 10, you're just going to stay with that special one, get that 21, you've got them all done. You got all the dates associated with each one, you've got some feedback, written or verbal. Next thing you need to do is work with your VP, give them all those dates. And what the VP is going to do is take for each one of those projects, when was the last date you did for that task, write them up, and she's going to put them, or he is going to put them onto our Toastmasters website, international, where we put all the awards. The next thing you have to do that is wait, and you will get your CL award.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Bill, for sharing with us how to earn your CL. Bill, thank you very much. Let's give Bill a round of applause. All right, audience, now it's your turn. We have a question and answer session ready for you. Has anyone prepared any questions they have for us? Oh, that's Kelly.
Yes, I wanted to ask Bill, what is the purpose of getting more than one CL? What benefits?
Sure, I'll repeat the question for the rest of the audience. What's the purpose in getting more than one CL? One of the things that we like to do as a club is to go for the Distinguished Club Program. The Distinguished Club Program is an area where we're measured in 10 ways over a Toastmaster year of how we're doing in communication, how we're doing in leadership, and how we're doing in teamwork. The first 4 objectives of DCP have to do with speaking, both competent communicators and advanced speaking. The next 2 have to do with leadership, both achieving a CL, competent leader, or an advanced leadership award. The next couple ones have to do with membership, and that's where that teamwork comes together by having people who are leading, the Vice President of Public Relations, the Vice President of Membership, Deshaun Mosley in our case, working together, our Vice President of PR, Lavinia Owens, working together with other officer members to try to encourage people to come visit our club and provide for a club setting where people want to join our club. And the last 2 have to do a measurement of actually the club itself. Are we getting our dues in on time? Are we going to our officer training? Are we getting our new officer roles in on time? So all those things work together to make for a positive experience for individuals and the club. If you get 9 out of 10, then you get President Distinguished. And I believe WAyO's been President Distinguished 2 years in a row now. How about that? Let's hear it for that. So that was a very long general segue into answering your question. So how does the CL benefit by getting more than one? 1, it helps your club to get a Distinguished Club Program. 2, the idea of each of these programs is to continue to build your skills. I'm now on my 4th level of the CL. And each time I go through that, I'm learning a little bit more. In Toastmasters, you can start with the very basic skills and go up to medium, go medium to high, or you can have very high professional international skills and still get those polished by using them. Just like that dull knife you have in the drawer you don't want to use because it doesn't cut your steak anymore, you want to sharpen your skills. And by constantly doing the CL on a regular basis, whether it's every year, 2 or 3 years, you'll continue to sharpen, build, and maintain your leadership skills.
And if I can add to that, I think about the fact that whenever football players, or any athlete for that matter, whenever they go back to basic training, when their season is beginning, they still have to do the basic exercises that they learned before. Whatever football plays are based off of for their entire games, they're still learning how to do those throughout that training season. So the CC and the CL, the competent communicator and the competent leadership manuals, would give you that opportunity to keep being in basic training, to keep sharpening those skills and to keep building on those skills, because it depends upon what your personal or professional goals are. You may need to go from basic level, mid-level, high level in each of those areas, and those manuals allow you that practice, practice, practice to keep getting better, just like an athlete would.
So pretty much reinforcement.
Reinforcement, absolutely.
Wonderful. Thanks, Holly, for your question. Thanks for Sandra for answering. Mindy, I see your hand going up.
Yes, I would like to ask the panelists, both of you, what was the most challenging part of getting the DTM?
Let's start with Cassandra.
The most challenging part, I think, for me getting the DTM was not in performing the actual roles, but remembering to set the goal and follow the plan. That was the most challenging for me. I used the building of the WAyO Toastmasters Club, or the Wrightwood Ashburn Overcomers Toastmasters Club, as my high performance leadership project. And once I got that done, I still was at an advanced level. And I pretty much went through building the club, helping members, mentoring members, and I began to become, and I shouldn't say began to become, I had pretty much become complacent in what my goals were, and I hadn't kept them at the forefront of my mind. And as Bill mentioned, mentors inside and outside of the club. Thankfully, Bill became a member of the club and became a mentor to me in many ways. And then a mentor at a district level was someone who tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, do you realize that you can get your DTM in a year? I'm getting mine in a year. Let's be on the buddy system so we can do that together. And I said, how do you know that? He said, oh, I'm following your progress. And I said, you're following my progress, and I don't even know what my progress is. So it was a matter of I had planned the work, but I wasn't working the plan. So I had the plan set, but it was sitting somewhere collecting dust, and I didn't have that at the forefront of my mind. So that was the hardest part for me, getting the DTM.
For me, it was overcoming organization. That's my weakness. I think one of the things you want to do if you want to grow is know your strengths, know your weaknesses. My biggest weakness is organization. I have stacks and stacks of paper around my house, and organization, whether it's time or paper or tasks, is not always my strength. So the two things I think were hardest for me in the DTM was the organization around the special tasks and the CL. CL, you have to do, for example, a chair of a contest, or a chair of a public relations campaign, or a chair of a membership drive. For me, it didn't seem like much, but just being organized to think through what the tasks are, get other people involved, make those phone calls, make those emails, following up with tasks, delegating, all that stuff for just something small, such as maybe a membership drive or a PR campaign, took a little bit out of my comfort zone. It really stretched those areas where I was weak. I didn't learn either to build those skills or rely on other people. So that's on a small level. On a larger level, I think the hardest thing for me organization-wise was the High Performance Leadership Project. Cash mentioned that she started the club. I took a club that was very healthy and growing. We're up to almost 50 members. We split it into two. And the idea was to make sure that both clubs could still stay healthy. So I took a look at what we needed to do, and I knew I couldn't do it by myself. So I asked several past district governors to sit on my board of directors and keep me accountable. So we had monthly meetings or bi-monthly meetings where we said, okay, Bill, we thought about this obstacle. How are you getting around this problem? What are you thinking about this? And I'm like, I don't know. Can you guys tell me? Well, we can, but you also want to learn by thinking and researching. So having that extra level of organization, feedback, and accountability was kind of a challenge. Now you can do anything in a High Performance Leader Project. You can help out your church, you can help out your community, you can help out at the local library. It doesn't have to be Toastmaster related, but it does have to be something where you need to be organized, You need to involve other people, both in terms of people you report to as well as people that help you with the project. Ideally, you're going to have something that's going to build communication, leadership, and teamwork skills in others with Toastmasters or outside of Toastmasters. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Bill. Thank you, Cassandra. I do want to point out that on your desk in front of you, you have I would say called a salmon color document. It has a description of the meeting roles.
Madam Moderator, if I could, Harry also had a question. Do we have time for one more question?
Oh, excuse me, yeah. So just, it's a reference for you, so that if you need to know in a pinch what you do for your meeting role, you can have that with you, and it's a reference tool for you. Yes, Perry, you have a question?
Well, yeah, my question was, how do you guys leverage Toastmasters to speaking outside of your club?
All the time. All the time for me. My job currently, I'm a full-time entrepreneur and I am a professional speaker and corporate trainer. So I'm using my Toastmaster skills 6 hours a day, at least 12 times in a month, where I'm teaching full-time and I'm teaching professional development training sessions, if you will. And in those sessions, what people notice is most of the time they don't hear me say or and I have to say, oh, I have to give thanks to my Toastmaster members because they make it a game, and if they can catch me saying or they know they got me. And I make certain that I mention, though, my involvement with Toastmasters. And in many segments of the programs I'm teaching, whether it's on communication, whether it's on being assertive, whether it's on handling conflict, whether it's on event planning, whether it's project management, or any aspect of what I'm teaching as far as professional development is concerned, there is a Toastmaster tie. There's always a Toastmasters tie. So I'm able to leverage my experience of having been a member for the past 13 years in Toastmasters, from my professional growth with it to even what I've seen WAyO members be able to benefit from it in their own experiences. So I'm leveraging it all the time, and I even wear my membership pin. When I'm training, I'll wear my name badge and I'll wear my Toastmasters membership pin. Sometimes I get asked what it's for, most times I don't. But it doesn't matter if they ask or not because they're going to hear about Toastmasters. Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks, Barry, for your question. Thanks, Mindy and Tony, for your questions also. Well, it's time for us to wrap this up. I really thank you, audience, for participating and listening to us. And also thank you to you, Bill, and to you, Cassandra. I really appreciate your assistance in fulfilling my desire to teach, to inform, to enthuse, and encourage how to understand, work, and earn your CL. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Let's take a moment while I rearrange the stage and get us ready for our next